Okay, guys, so I want to just talk about Michael Rapaport and his call out of Meyers Leonard. So apparently, Meyers Leonard was streaming a game that he was playing, and he had some kind of altercation, verbal altercation with um, another gamer who might have been Jewish or whatever, and he let out the K word, and all of a sudden, uh, there's controversy over it, cancellation culture sets in, etc., etc. And Michael Rapaport has a few words with him, has a few words for him. Here's my take on it as far as so Michael Rapaport goes real hard on his Jewish ancestry. All right, the guy is, I don't know, you know what? I don't know what it is about the guy, but I just find him to be absolutely insincere. He comes off as one of these Jews from New York or Brooklyn who wants to act really ghettoish, who wants to come off like he has some kind of connection with hood life, ghetto life, black people, etc., etc. It just comes off really pretentious. Aside from the fact that that is he and a lot of Jewish entertainers of his background are extremely selective racist when it comes to um, you know, their jokes, their entertainment, their scripts, their movies, etc., etc. They are some of the most racist people on the planet, just like a lot of black people are some of the most racist people on the planet. All right, but here's the thing about their racism. Their racism isn't in your face racism where they go and call you specific words. Their racism is on screen. All right, they put their racism, they write certain characters as stereotypes, as negative stereotypes, as racist stereotypes. Seinfeld, who's Jewish, Sarah Silverman, who's Jewish, and absolutely a whole lot of Jewish comedians, entertainers have committed racism on in video form. They don't come out and say it, but they have the power to do it in video form, in movies, etc., etc., where they stereotype certain groups, etc., etc. And you know what they're saying. All right, essentially, they're saying, the C word, the N word, etc., etc., in screen form so that they can get away with it. It's very sneaky in that way. It's very sneaky in that way. All right, and and when he goes off on this guy, he's going calling for LeBron James to say a word about this certain situation. He's calling for um his removal, his cancellation, and an apology. Yo, I'm pretty sure. All right, I don't know why it is that blacks and Jews come off like they deserve, to be on the totem, the highest head on the totem pole when it comes to this, uh, victimization play. I'm just really tired of that because the group that should be on top of that totem pole should not be Jews and blacks. It should be Native Americans. All right. If anybody deserves hate crime laws, if anybody deserves um, a race card, if anybody deserves a movement, a BLM movement, or the Native Americans deserve that movement. All right, reparations, they should get the land back. All right, I don't understand how these people, when I say these people, I mean certain groups like blacks and Jews, can be as selectively racist as they are. I'm pretty sure Michael Rapaport have in some point done some racist comedy, just like Sarah Silverman has done some racist comedy against groups, against Asian Americans, Latino Americans, gay Americans, Muslim Americans, in the vein of Sacha Baron Cohen, in the vein of Sarah Silverman's blackface, in the vein of Seinfeld's racism in that show where he got called out on, but he made some excuse like it was just the times. Dude, that was like mid 90s to 2000 to 2005 or whatever. That wasn't the sign of times, dude. We're not in the 1920s, all right? And time again, unfortunately, these Jewish people, these Jewish so-called entertainers, comedians, get away with that racism. That's how they get away with the racism, because they actually go out of their way to promote the whole victimization, the aura of victimization, all right? I understand the Holocaust was horrible, all right? But that happened, 1940s? That was 50, 60, that was like 70 years ago, and you still see movies, you still see articles written about it. The Native Americans, all right, have had 500 years of tragedy with their land. They don't even have their own country. Do I see a 500 years of native struggle movie like I saw, like there is a 12 years a slave movie, like there are all these Holocaust movies for Jewish people? Why doesn't that culture exist? Why doesn't that culture of victimization exist for them when it exists for these people, when they're not the most victimized people in this country or this planet? It's just ridiculous. Okay, why isn't this guy calling for some attention to the Asian assaults? The Asian American. Why isn't this guy putting it out there? Why all this dude said was one single word, and then he says it's the K word, and then there's the N word. Yo, you guys don't. These are the same people who throw out the F word for faggot. These people are the same people who throw out the C word for chinks. These people who throw out the same people who throw out the S word for spics. They have no problem. I'm talking about you, Michael Rapaport. I'm talking about you hypocrites. All these hypocrites who throw out all these words, hateful words against other groups. But then when it comes to people throwing out words against that's when you have a problem with it. You don't know. That's not the way that works. All right? And it's just absolutely selectively racist in the worst possible way. Selectively, it's just cowardly. All right? And on top of that, here's the thing why I have such an issue with selective racism. All right? That term, selective racism, should be a mainstream word at this point, but it's not. I don't know why it's not. I'm trying to blow it up as a, something that should be mainstream. It's cowardly because essentially you're racial snitching. That should be a mainstream word too. I just made that up, but you're socially snitching, you're culturally snitching, because you guys do the same. I'm almost positive you guys do the same. Not almost. I'm positive you guys do the same. Sarah Silverman is a main example of this. Her act pretty much go off on people of other races that she has no business commenting on or doing jokes about, but she does it. And then once you say something negative about the Jewish, her Jewish culture, she goes off. Oh, you're an anti-Semite. You're this. You're that. That's not the way that works. Okay, your culture, you are racial snitching at that point. You're culturally snitching at that point because you do the same. All right, enough of this garbage with all these loser entertainers, particularly of the Jewish and black persuasion, who are just absolute hypocrites in their racism, who are just absolute hypocrites in their own victimization. Enough of this trash. Just enough of it.